Thanks for joining in for this webinar. My name is Shafiq. I'll be hosting today's session. The topic of the session is mastering conversational ads with maximum ROI with ads that click to WhatsApp. I'll quickly introduce our speakers here. So essentially, there is Uday, who has come from Tanishq, who leads brand marketing and CRM practice for Tanishq. He's been with Tanishq for over a decade, where he's leading CRM, digital and hyperlocal campaigns for running on Meta and Google platforms to drive brand growth. He's got a vast experience under his belt, and I'm sure the insights he will share around CTWA ads and Meta ads platform will be very useful for the audience today. Next up, we have Shriya Roy, who is WhatsApp India lead for scaled markets at Meta. She is based in Gurgaon, and she plays a pivotal role in driving business messaging across growth accounts. Prior to this, she has spent about 8 years at Nika, again in a growth slash marketing role. Um, this is the second time Shreya has joined us for a webinar. So welcome on board, Shreya. Um, Rutuja leads strategic partner is a strategic partner manager, business messaging for Meta India. She has been with Meta for I think little over half a decade now. Prior to this, she was at PayU. For Meta, she has done partnerships as well as monetizations. Um, and I'm your host for the day. My name is Shafiq. I lead product marketing initiatives at Karix. Prior to this, I have had significant experience in SaaS marketing, worked in the marketing technology ecosystem while during my time at WebEngage and CleverTap. Most recently, I was at Razorpay before joining Karix. So that's all of us. What we'll be covering today are these things. So essentially, the why, what, and how of ads to chat, which is click to WhatsApp ads. And then we'll sort of dive deeper into how to enhance performance of these ads with some of the latest capabilities and features that Meta has released to help marketers drive performance of these ads. Um, and then we'll showcase the new platform that we have developed at Carix, which we call as Ads to Chat, um, and showcase some of the capabilities, some of the impact that we have been able to create for our beta customers. And then we'll hand it over to Uday to share some of the insights of his experience working with us on CTWA ads. Also, meanwhile, share some of the insights, some of the tips and best practices when it comes to running ads on Meta ads platform as well as specifically click to WhatsApp ads. So I'll quickly hand it over to Shreya to talk about and give a little background on ads. So yeah, over to you, Shreya.
Thank you, Shafiq. Hi, everyone. What I'll do is I'll take a few minutes to quickly sort of jog your memory. I think a lot of you have already looked at click to WhatsApp ads, so that's that chat. But I'll also sort of jog your memory on what these ads are, and if you don't know, feel free to like ask questions in the like type in your questions and we'll answer those later at the end of the webinar. So, primarily, like, uh, what is it that a click to WhatsApp ad or a click to chat ad is addressing? Right now, if you look at the marketing channels that you have across the entire funnel of prospecting and then with driving consideration, and eventually basically lead generation, you have like different kinds of advertising sort of interfaces, right? So you, as a marketer, you can send an ad on Google, you can do Meta ads, everything, and it essentially sort of there are different channels and different kinds of campaign strategies that drive leads through the funnel across discovery, consideration, retargeting, and then a final conversion, and then post conversion for to introduce the user into the loyalty funnel and the loyalty cycle again. We are all using different channels um, across the full spectrum. So what it does is your conventional ad journeys essentially just focus on the first line, they are disconnected and they lack a persistent thread, which is where click to WhatsApp ad fit in. Wherein, can we go on to the next slide, Shafiq, please? Yeah. So basically, this is where the click to WhatsApp ads fit in because they try and create a persistent journey a lot of times. So these are just summarizing some of the things that conventional ads deliver. They deliver a friction laden post click experience because the experience of a user on the ads platform, let's say on Facebook or on Instagram, is very different from the experience that the user has once they arrive on the landing page, right? One, two, a very high cognitive load because a lot of times people see an ad for a particular product or particular category, they end up landing onto the home page, and then it's basically a disjointed user journey, which is also a very high cognitive load because you're exposed to you came because of one particular item of interest as a user, but there are multiple multiple touch points that you can click through and you can initiate journeys onto the website. And then because of this, there's a low engagement because everybody has the same kind of a landing page, everybody sees the same homepage, and there is hardly any personalization. So, in order to sort of mitigate all of these issues that we have seen, which results in lower conversion rates, is where a CTWA ad fits in. Right. So, what is it? Now, what are Meta's strengths, right? Well, Meta has this extremely strong platform called WhatsApp where customers are engaging, and it still continues to be a strong peer-to-peer platform, which is why you will end up opening your app, WhatsApp as an app, multiple times, and which essentially delivers a high sort of a see-through rate at a user level, right? And the other strength that Meta has is the ads platform, right? Anything that we can all joke about it, but even if we're thinking about something, we can see that ad on Facebook or Instagram, right? So a click to WhatsApp ad combines both of these strengths, where you deliver the first ad on to the ads platform and the customer ends up clicking on it, right? And you take the customer onto WhatsApp where you can deliver a personalized two-way engaging journey, right? Even on your website, you rely on users to click, to add on cart, to add to wish list, etc. All of these actions to understand if the user is engaging or not. But here you can actually have a user replying to you on a on the WhatsApp interface. Yeah. So what? So this is broadly like what I covered was broadly what a CWA sort of delivers, but then from a more practical perspective, right? What it does is it delivers a great post-click experience. It reduces friction and meets users at a preferred channel. But what are the practical benefits of it? Right? It actually helps in driving conversion because if you get a lead and if you know spend a particular amount of money getting the lead to WhatsApp, we ensure that the that your lead nurturing, which happens over the next 72-hour conversation window, is free of cost. Overall, if you look at the funnel, we have seen in our experience that the overall customer conversion and the customer acquisition cost is much lower because you also get the a user's PII. You are able to retarget the user and you are able to also leverage other features like flows, AI chatbots, etc., where you can guide a user's purchase cycle and help them make informed decisions. And even if a user does not complete their purchase cycle then and there, you're creating a high intent user who will then come to your website or your app and complete their journey. So your indirect attribution is also quite high. What it does is, again, offers a persistent personal thread. So here is an example where if you look at, so just look at the frames. If you look at the first frame, this is where discovery happens, where on a Facebook ad, if you see the CTA is chat with one of our wine cellars tours to find the perfect addition to your home, and then it has has a CTA of send message. And then what the user does is it lands then what the user does is lands on WhatsApp, where an icebreaker message, which is hello, can you help me with the right wine cellar, right? An icebreaker message is pre-fed. All the user has to click is send, and then that initiates the entire journey. And what you are essentially getting is a user initiated journey instead of a business initiated journey. A user, there are multiple integrations that can happen on WhatsApp, which you can leverage, which includes catalogs, etc. And then once that particular thread is completed, any kind of retargeting can also be done, right? So if a user has abandoned that journey, then you can retarget the user, leverage the 72 hour a free conversation window, and retarget the user through a WhatsApp message, a marketing message, and get the user back and reinitiate the conversation from where they left it, right? And eventually that leads to conversion. And post conversion also, you can send out a message, a utility message, where a user can track their order, figure out how many days it is going to take to deliver, etc. Right? So that entire journey of the user can be completed here. What you are essentially leveraging is you are connecting with people where they actually spend time. So if you, I would not suggest that you go look at your settings and look at the amount of time that you spend on Instagram or Facebook. But then usually on average, we've seen that, the youth of India is spending upwards of 55 minutes on Instagram on a daily basis, where they are touched by at least, 20 plus ads. And that's essentially where the customer is spending their time, and this is where you want to capture a user. So you can these are all the different kinds of ad formats that that can be leveraged. So the CTWA ad is integrated across your Facebook feed, marketplace, Instagram feed, and the ads that you can show on Facebook and Instagram stories. So everywhere in all ad formats it is integrated. Um, what we have seen in our experience, because this is a product that has been launched and been in operation for quite a while, what we have seen is that these are the 5 different kinds of use cases where CDWA has been quite successful when it comes to generating leads, validating those leads and driving them through a journey of your product and driving consultative sales, building an entire first party customer database where you drive subscriptions and drive entry to your loyalty program so that you can retarget these users over and over again. We've also seen a lot of retail omni-channel customers use CTWA to capture the lead and then distribute promotional discount coupons, which actually leads to footfall into a store, and that helps them drive completion of that entire purchase journey, as well as building a full brand experience, where we have seen some of our best brands like Nestle, and for that matter, even MDH Masala drive a full brand experience of how to use their products, recipe charters, etc. That both of these brands have been able to sort of share through a CTWA initiated journey, and that's how they've built engagement for their brand, eventually driving up NPS scores. Okay, so what I spoke about in the last couple of slides, this is essentially a summary of that, right? Your entry point, what is CTWA? It ensures that that's an entry point. You deliver the ad on one of our ads platforms. It leads the user to an in-thread experience on WhatsApp where you can integrate with any and every product that WhatsApp has to offer to drive that engagement of the journey, and eventually drives the business outcomes, the 5 business outcomes that we spoke about. The reason why we have this in a summary here is just for you to sort of absorb this structure, where we take you through examples and use case studies of what has been done for each of these business outcomes, right? So here is an example of how you generate lead. There's a CWA ad which a user clicks on and initiates the chat by saying hi, and then this is basically It's basically a solution where you can get an unsecured business loan of a certain amount, right? And then you start with I'm interested. And once this bot journey starts, when the user clicks on I'm interested, then look at the second and the third images. The second image essentially starts asking information to validate. So these are all validating a 6-digit OTP, your PAN, date of birth. This validates whether this is the specific user who should be having who should be having this conversation with the bank or not. And then after that, the third image is that of a flow or a form being initiated, where the user enters all their details, and then on the basis of that, the bank it gathers enough information, figures out what is the amount that can be dispersed. And we've also had use cases where a loan has been disbursed to a user in a matter of minutes. So that's one. The second one is driving consultative sales. Here you see an example of a commerce player where a consumer discovers you through a CTWA ad, goes on to WhatsApp, selects a couple of options. What is it that they want to see? They want to see accessories for women. And so here is where the catalog integration comes into play. You click on view items and the entire catalog shows up. You select which product you want, and then the details of those products sort of come in, which essentially helps you you know sort of replicate the discovery experience that you have, that is there on your website, except for again reducing the cognitive load. So you're not showing rings and earrings and bracelets, etc. But if the user is interested in rings, then you're just showing them rings, right? The third one is building first party customer base, right? Here is so this is one of the most interesting things. When a user clicks on the CTA of WhatsApp and sends the icebreaker message, right? The moment they click on it, you the phone number of the user gets captured, and that becomes a part of your database. Now, if the person sort of replies to you and goes through the entire journey, great. But if the person does not do that, you still have their phone number to go back and re-engage with that user. So this is the in-thread experience. But then again, to my point, this also creates a re-entry point where you can send a marketing message regarding any offer, regarding anything that the person has seen on your website, and you can combine that information from that and build a personalized journey and send a personalized message where you can sort of gain a re-entry into into that user's sort of purchase cycle. And distribute promotional offers, right? So here again, this is a full bot journey. Once a user has clicked on CWA, it's a full bot journey. They've also decided that we want to go to Europe, and then we want to do a Paris and Italy tour. And because this is a far more this is a sort of purchase journey which needs far more engagement. Here the advertiser is pushing the user to schedule a call and have a longer discussion, because it's also a high value purchase. So scheduling of the call can also happen. And once the user agrees on scheduling the call, you can also give them a coupon by sending them a WhatsApp message, and they can actually quote this whenever they're doing a conversation over call. And this is also something that we've seen a lot of consumer advertisers use successfully to drive store footfalls. Okay. Yeah. This is an example, and I'll go back to what I was saying about what Nestle has done with Maggie. What they have done is that they've introduced a full bot where and they are using the Facebook ads manager to sort of figure out what the right consumer base is. They figured that the right consumer base is women who are from a certain geography, a certain age group, and they've sort of deployed budgets basis which they were able. This is a successful case study of being able to reach 15 million women who initiated the journey. And then on that journey, Maggie would distribute different recipes Nestle would distribute different recipes for Maggie. It would there would be a so they had sourced about 200 plus recipes, and a user could always go reinitiate the conversation and get a new recipe delivered. And we saw what Nestle saw was for about 20% of their base, 18% of their base, they engaged with the bot at least 3 days in a row, right? So it shows it has great engagement, and this was a great brand building experience for Nestle beyond what they do in terms of all of your ETL communication. So yeah, WhatsApp has been leveraged for this. I think that's it from my side on overall what CTWA does, and handing it back to you, Shafiq, and then Rituja.
All right. Thanks, Riya, for taking us through the use cases as well as talking about some of the benefits and defining what CTWA ads are for our audience here. Next up is Rutuja, who is going to talk about some of the purchase optimization bits and some of the new developments that have been done on the optimization bit with Convergence API as well as purchase optimization. So over to you, Rutuja.
Thanks, Shafiq. Could we move to the next slide? Yes. So just quickly, right, on CTWA ads. So a CTWA ad, like everyone knows, is just like any other ad. The only difference being, when a user clicks on the ad, instead of going into the website or the app, you basically start the conversation in a WhatsApp chat thread. Now, the ad impressions are also delivered on our regular media platforms like Instagram and Facebook on the Ads Manager. And what you can track on Ads Manager on a click to WhatsApp ad are, your typical same metrics such as impressions, clicks, and conversation started. So when I say conversation started, it is basically the first message that the user sends on the WhatsApp chat thread. However, once the conversation thread has kick-started and the user is having a chat with the business in the WhatsApp chat thread, Meta and Ads Manager actually does not have visibility on the events that are happening within the chat thread. So, who has visibility into what is actually happening within the WhatsApp chat thread? It is the advertiser itself, like the client who's running the click to WhatsApp ad, and the BSP who can basically track those events. And the BSP can also generate reports that can, help generate insights. But all of this is completely at the BSP or the client's end. Now, if you want to see some of these metrics on Ads Manager, what we have available is CAPI for WhatsApp or Convergence API. Convergence API will basically help you to send events back into Ads Manager, and then we can use those signals in optimization products, which I'll talk about shortly. So currently, in the way Click to WhatsApp is being run, for events that are happening into the WhatsApp chat thread, for them to come back into Ads Manager, you need to make sure that you have Convergence API integrated. And once these signals are back into Ads Manager, is when you can potentially look at optimization products. Currently, the only optimization product that we have launched in Click to WhatsApp is purchase optimization. So that can get activated. And soon enough, within a few months, we will also have lead optimization coming in so that your CTWA ad can start optimizing for leads as well. If we move to the next slide, please. So if you see over here, right, like pretty much Convergence API in a messaging platform works across channels. It works across Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. Simply put, it is a meta business tool that creates a direct connection between the conversation data within the chat thread and Meta. So it helps you to basically use all of these events that are happening within the WhatsApp chat thread and optimize your ad targeting, increase or decrease your cost per action, and basically measure results in a better way. So what CAPI is going to do is basically going to help your data integrations work really well. So if I have to simply kind of summarize Convergence API for business messaging, what we may basically call it as a product to help you measure the number of leads and purchases that can be attributed from CTWA directly into your ads manager. So any lead generation or any purchase happening within the WhatsApp chat thread via a click to WhatsApp ad can be, attributed to you in the ads manager itself. And then uh, because of these events now in ads manager, the ad can start optimizing for, showing the ad to more likely users who are more interested in buying the product, or to kind of fill the lead gen form that you have going on in your WhatsApp chat thread. Moving to the next slide. So, like I said, right, if a year ago you had asked me, hey, Rutuja, does click to WhatsApp have optimization in it like any other ad product? I would have said it is in the pipeline, but not yet. But, just about last quarter, we launched our first optimization product on click to WhatsApp called the purchase optimization. So for any client who's running a basically a purchase or a commerce journey on click to WhatsApp can now integrate CAPI and run purchase optimization to optimize on events based on in-thread purchases on WhatsApp rather than website purchases. So a lot of clients, what they used to do earlier is they used to kind of bring the user into the WhatsApp chat thread and then redirect him to the website so that the purchase can actually happen on the website. So now to avoid that, you can actually make sure purchases can happen within the WhatsApp chat thread and get the ad to basically optimize for users to like drive more in-thread purchases. So just a couple of, eligibility criterias as to who this is kind of built for and what are the requirements. You need to have a WhatsApp business presence. It could be via the WhatsApp API that Karix provides or the WhatsApp small business app as well. And you have to be a active CTWA advertiser. You should already be able to drive sales within WhatsApp. So, for example, it could be a consultative selling journey or an actual catalog integration so that the actual purchase is happening within the WhatsApp chat thread. And lastly, like I mentioned, convergence API being of the utmost importance so that you can actually send all of these eligible events back into Meta, into Ads Manager, so the ad can start optimizing for that particular event. Moving to the next slide. Yes. So, what we have seen so far via purchase optimization, clients who have been running click to WhatsApp ads without purchase optimization and then tried purchase optimization, on average, their CTWA campaigns were kind of optimizing for purchases at a 10% lower cost per purchase compared to optimizing for conversations. So we've already seen on a very small, sample size of a few clients who were part of our beta test for PO that they already saw a 10% lower cost per purchase. And with that, like we are seeing more clients adopted, and that seems to be growing as well. I have a couple of case studies that I'll quickly run you through. So if we move to the next slide, Shafiq. Yeah, let me just kind of spend some time on this particular client, right? This particular client is based in Indonesia. It's an e-commerce client called Confidon. What they did was they were wanted to increase their sales of their particular footwear product by running click to WhatsApp ads and using purchase optimization. After integrating purchase optimization, what they also did is they did an A/B test. They ran in cell A the regular click to WhatsApp ad without PO, and the other cell they actually ran click to WhatsApp with PO. What they noticed was on the cell where the PO was purchase optimization was activated, 3.9x more purchases happened via messaging due to purchase optimization being kicked in. Also, 79% lower cost per purchase was seen for purchases that were happening through the WhatsApp chat thread and were optimized for purchase. So if you see over here, the results were like quite insane for like, a client who was doing purchases before without PO. And that's where we see the power of WhatsApp and optimization kind of coming in together. Now, like I had said, right, purchase optimization is our first step. In under 3 months, we'll also have lead optimization available to everybody. So, any client who's also running lead generation campaigns, so you could be an edtech brand or a professional services, health tech, real estate, any of these brands who basically do lead generation on WhatsApp, you can start using lead optimization to make sure your performance also improves drastically. If we move to the next slide. I think with that, I just kind of want to conclude that, purchase optimization is now available to everybody. We tested it between November and December, and now it's been launched to the entire base. So if you have any of the consultative purchase or a catalog journey on WhatsApp, do integrate Cappy via Karix, and then you'll also be able to kind of activate PO and thereby see really better results on your click to WhatsApp campaigns than you did beforehand as well. So yeah, I would love to hear your feedback later after having tried this particular product, and yeah, keen to see how it performs for you guys. With that, I'll hand it back over to Shafiq.
Yeah, Rutuja, before you go, there is a relevant question in the chat here by Ankit from the audience here. Uh, he has asked if you can share more details on how conversation started event can be passed back to ads manager for campaign optimization. So if you could just spend like 30-40 seconds on
Yeah.
answering this right away. The other questions we'll take towards the end of the webinar.
So, Ankit, actually, conversation started metric is already visible on Ads Manager. The current CTWA campaigns are actually also optimizing on conversation started. So, this is something that is actually BAU business as usual. It's already happening. So, when you set up a click to WhatsApp campaign, I think maybe if you select your objective as engagement, the metric that the ad is kind of optimizing on is actually conversation started. And when you see the metrics of click to WhatsApp, the three metrics that are visible on Ads Manager are impressions, clicks, and conversation started. So right now, all of that is already visible. Currently, what was not visible was the next step after conversation started, right? Once the conversation is actually in process. So for that is where CAPI and PO actually come in. So hopefully that kind of answers your question.
Yeah, I think it does. We'll wait for Ankit to reply back on the chat or using the Q&A panel. But thanks, Rutuja. I'll take it ahead from here. Well, I'll quickly talk about some of the things that we are doing from Karix product development perspective, covering our solution for CTWA ads. Um, so if you look at what Rutuja has talked about here, essentially is she's talked about some of the events that are happening in Meta Ads platform. Then there are some of the user actions that are being taken on the WhatsApp business platform. Then the user probably moves to your website or app, uh, and there are events happening there which are being captured in your CRM or order management system. And then after the purchase event, the user starts receiving, let's say, order updates or feedback and targeted offers from the brand. So there are these events that are happening across platforms, and often because of fragmented data, uh, a marketer does not have full visibility into what is happening. There is no single source of truth in data. When it comes to re-engagement campaigns, it is harder for you to orchestrate that because the data is in some disparate system and you're using some other system to reach the user back. The events that are happening in thread, which is events that are happening on WhatsApp, are not really visible to you. You're not able to track those milestones for the user. And then there is also limited ad optimization, right? If you don't integrate CAPI, if you don't have the conversion event going back to the ads manager. All of that gets solved with Karix's Ads to Chat platform. It lets you run, track, and optimize CTWA ads, provides you with real-time full funnel insights and capability to re-engage users on WhatsApp using marketing messages. We'll kind of see the three pillars and three core capabilities of the platform. First one is milestones. Second one is insights, and the third one is re-engagement. So you could basically configure milestones, define custom milestones, and then track these milestones over time. With insights, you see full funnel insights of what is happening on your ads to what is happening on WhatsApp and what is happening on when the user moves from WhatsApp to, let's say, your application or mobile web. Um, and then your ability to re-engage, which is to send a re-engagement nudge to the users who have dropped off or let's say if they've not performed a certain action that they were supposed to perform and they've abandoned the journey, the platform enables you to reach these users effectively on WhatsApp and bring them back to the journey. I'll quickly show you some of the capabilities in slightly more detail in the upcoming slides. So yeah, milestones, right? So you could essentially set up analytics and insights the way you want. So think of let's say a personal loan journey for a fintech company. So the first message, the ad is clicked on Facebook, Instagram. First message is sent. Then you have things like, the user entering income, then pin code, then the lead is sent to a lending team, it is qualified, and then subsequently offered a loan. All of this can be configured by you depending upon your chatbot journey. And these milestones can be tracked basis, let's say, performance over time as well. That's about milestones. About insight, so you could basically analyze ads, performance of your bot journeys, and retargeting campaigns in a single dashboard. We'll see how. So the same journey that I spoke about, right? So there are events that are happening across platforms. So there is events that are happening on Meta Ads platform, then WhatsApp, then your website or CRM. So you get a single view of all the interactions that the user is doing across these different platforms, and you get the ability to re-engage dropped off users, right? Which we will double click on in the subsequent section. But from a campaign perspective, you get access to like insights around uh, return on ad spend, cost per lead, cost per conversion, and so on and so forth. On the campaign insight dashboard, you get access to detailed insights on total spends, impressions, total clicks that have come on WhatsApp, um, total conversations that are things like 3 message deep, 6 message deep, and stuff. So all of these insights let you understand how your campaigns are performing, how are users using that chatbot journey, how are they interacting with it, and basis that you can sort of use that information, use that insight in real time to optimize that experience and that campaign for the user. You could also track funnel performance over time. This is sort of a derived metric and a derived view. From a re-engagement perspective, you can nudge dropped off users with marketing messages. The way this happens is you could have like automated nudges set. So saying that, okay, if a user has not taken step number 4 in my chatbot journey and only completed step number 3, they're in the when that event does not happen, let's say the step number 4, the event does not happen in the next 6 hours, the user should be targeted with this marketing message on WhatsApp. So you can essentially bring back that dropped off user onto the same journey, and they can continue their journey from there on. These nudges can be set in an automated fashion, as well as you can send nudges in a manual fashion, wherein you can figure out the segment or the cohort of users and nudge them with a marketing message on WhatsApp. So that's about it from a glimpse into the product. But we'll quickly see how this product has helped one of our customers, Tanishq here. I want Uday to talk about and take over uh, the success story bit, wherein he's going to talk about the opportunity, the solution, and the impact that he and his organization have seen with CTWA ads, and then also go into some of the best practices, tips, and insights that he has learned after spending a lot of time with and experimenting with CTWA ads. So over to you, Uday.
Yeah, thanks, Rafiq. So at Tanishq, we were particularly struggling with how do we get new buyers. So that was one of our core business challenges. And whenever we ran the usual lead generation campaigns, the quantum of the leads that we got were not something that we were satisfied with. And of course, we were having multiple conversations with Meta and Karix and even our internal digital marketing agencies with whom. How do we get all these new buyers into our Tanish ecosystem, especially during the Festival of Diamonds, which is a diamond activation, where we are running already a promo, a discount activation, and how do we use CTWA as an opportunity to grab more and more of buyers, as well as re-engage our existing base as well. So when we ran this pilot with CTWA in mid of July till end of August, it was a 1 month campaign. We were able to generate almost 20 to 30 times of leads that we generated when we ran a similar usual lead generation campaign through the platform. So around 9,000 leads we generated, and if and not just CTW, we coupled it with other ad recall and through play video campaigns as well. We got a directly attributable revenue of 4.1 cr with around 360 plus purchases, which was a huge testament of the fact that this pilot technically worked with their objective, as we were not only able to gain some 30% new buyers out of the total we actually ended up capping 3,000 buyers through this campaign, and 30% of those were all new buyers to the Tanish ecosystem. We collaborated multiple times with Karix as well as Meta to define a very clean and user friendly customer journey, where when the customer, as you can see from these screenshots, when the customer clicks on the ad on the either in the Insta feed or the Facebook feed, they we would show them a creative message with the exclusive marketing hook that we were promoting. And we decided that for the first 4 5 days of the campaign, when our activation started, since we run a preview sale where it gives additional discount to the existing customer, so that is how we did the segmentation also. We divided the target audience into our already existing user base, as well as a prospecting which audience which has never bought into the tunnel. So we uploaded those customer bases, so that the first 4 5 days we will only be targeting the existing customer base with the additional discount which was part of the marketing hook, as we as a brand cannot get into additional promo discounting by virtue of a policy. But what we thought, we got a lot of engagement just by that additional preview, and that we leveraged through the whole entire CTWA pilot. And we made the user journey very clean and very quick, so that user does not have to spend too much of time understanding. And we try to personalize it also by asking the user which city the user is from, and whichever the city the user is from, we would the chat bot itself would throw back what are the nearest stores in that city for that user. And if they want to understand more about the offer, we would also share that entire offers and terms and condition. And when we ran this for 1.5 months, and we kept on attributing the sales also basis the number of people who are clicking and were interacting, we saw some 14x of ROAS only by sheer volume of the people who engaged with us. But if I take the entire campaign into consideration, it is actually 105 and some 9,000 unique leads generated. And now what we are trying to implement in our system is that we are trying to put a mechanism that these leads that get generated through Karix uh, are automatically flow into our Salesforce ERP to the store Tanish stores and the store managers, and they start directly calling those customers if they have not converted. And since we also utilize the CRM bit here, because we got their phone numbers, we kept on nurturing those phone numbers into our other CRM communications also. So every time we ran a CTW campaign, we got some 9 to 10,000 additional leads which were never part of our Tanish base. And then we use this also to make more lookalike audience than whom to target and how to target. So some of the learnings and best practices I would take you through. And so the segmentation I talked about, since our CTW campaigns were very divided into two sort of segments. One is the encircle audience. Encircle audience is our own base. And second type of audience is the one that have never bought Tanish. So we uploaded the entire 5 year customer base in the platform. And the first few days, we only targeted people who are part of our base, because that additional discount would only be applicable to those. And hence, after a period, we saw when we are not getting the response in terms of clicks and the leads as we were expecting, we were very agile. We, again got in touch with Meta team and our own agencies, and we then started targeting a lookalike audience of the people that we wanted to, who are interested in jewelry, who are interested in buying into diamonds. And once we got these leads, we would retarget them with a CRM comp, which was anyway automatically built into it. In the second leg, from the insights point of view, creative copy and CTA, a lot of back and forth happened here, because as a brand, we have to stick to certain brand guidelines. We have to also ensure that it is not, we don't want to bombard the audience with too much of information as well. So we, had various discussions with Meta team as well, and how we decided, and we also did a lot of hit and trial, what was working and what was not. And there was a lot of feedback that we were getting in terms of the performances of those creatives. So a lot of product shots worked well instead of model shots. Video assets that we used, where we created a GIF all the diamond products, got us a great CTR. And also we try to keep it very minimalist by having exclusive offers and chat now very strongly and very boldly called out on the creative, so that the immediate action of the customer is to click on the creative and then start the chat on the WhatsApp. And there we also, in the WhatsApp also, we tried ensured that we do not make it too long. The entire steps are, we wind up in 3 4 steps, get the store details, and then let the customer know this is the nearest store and these are the offers that you can avail. And we kept the frequency of our CTW access to 3 to 4, so that we are also not spamming on and on. So those were the, again, the summary of the best practices that we did, that have quick response buttons, CTAs. The journey is not more than 4 steps, and we didn't want to confuse and cause a fatigue to the customer. So minimum questions in the chatbot flow. And also a personalization, this time we gave one option to the user to the which city he or she is from, and the moment they collected that city, we gave them the entire store locator addresses along with the TNCs of the offers that we were running.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Thanks, Uday, for sharing the insights with the audience here. Now is the time for Q&A, and I think we have a handful of questions to handle, Rutuja and Shriya. So, Rutuja, if you can come back on.
Yeah.
Hi. So, yeah. So there is a question on Confer on example. When a person clicks on click to WhatsApp ad on Facebook, the WhatsApp chat has the link or preview to the product shown over the ad. How to do this?
Has a product shown over to the ad? So basically, I think what they're talking about is the first message that kind of goes, which is the pretext message. The preview of the ad is kind of not shown, but basically it might be a demo. Generally, what is shown is the icebreaker. You can set up your message template on the ads manager as the first message that is kind of shown to the user when he lands into the WhatsApp chat thread. And the only action that the user needs to do is actually press the enter button. So over there on an API, that's the experience there is. But on the WhatsApp small business app, is when a preview is kind of shown. So the experiences kind of vary on API as well as SMB app. But on the API, the message that you configure as a message template on the ads manager is what is being shown.
Got it. I hope that answered the question. This was an anonymous attendee asking that question. Second question is, I think it's a simpler one. Can we upload a list of phone numbers and CTWA ad is shown to only those list of phone numbers?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yes, absolutely. Just like any other ad, right? A click to WhatsApp ad setup is exactly the same. So, how you do customer audiences, you basically upload a list of phone numbers for a custom audience targeting. The same thing can be done for a click to WhatsApp ad as well. So, you basically just upload a list of custom numbers, and that ad can be only shown to those users.
Got it. I think that makes sense. There is another one which is on CTWA ads. So the uh, anonymous person who has asked this question is running these ads from early last year and facing a challenge with getting back users who are dropped off. Currently, they are sending marketing messages that is shooting up the cost. any suggestions or best practices that they can employ to solve for this?
So I think this is exactly where what Rituja spoke about and Cappy sort of fits in, which will essentially help you deliver a better lead and you optimize the entire campaign to deliver a better lead so that you won't have to, keep on resending marketing messages. That's one. I think the other thing also to look at is, what is the cost at a customer level? When you do multiple ads also, what is the cost to customer level that you're delivering right now? Because it is a persistent thread, you're able to track the spends that you do on the CTWA plus on the on the paid messaging. If you do that same activity for other ads as well, what we have seen in our experience is that the entire funnel is usually ends up being more slightly better optimized to conversion. So I would urge you to do the measurement in that way as well.
Got it. There are a couple of questions which are fairly basic. So does CTWA support all ad format? Are there any limitations?
Supports all ad formats, feed, stories, reels, all of them. Carousel, video, image.
And again, a fundamental question as a follow-up to this, to capture phone number, a user has to send the first message. Only clicking on CTWA ad wouldn't give us the phone number, or is there a way for them to get that phone number?
It's only after they send the first message.
Got it. Yeah. I think those are the questions that is, yeah, I think we have covered most of them. In the interest of time, we'll want to end the session. Before we end the session, we want to run a small quiz. So Anna and Mihir, could you trigger that quiz first? Yeah, I think it is on. So to all the attendees, you will be seeing a set of 3 questions onto your screen. If you could just help us with your responses to these before we close the session, it would be great. We are just testing out your knowledge from the session and how attentive you were. Um, some of very basic and elementary questions on CTWA, along with mm, yeah, along with the last one, which is on ads to chat. All right, we'll wait for another 15 seconds and then end this poll. Great, that's about it. Yeah. All right. Thanks for taking the time out and spending the time with us to know more about CTWA. And thanks to the panelists here for taking out the time to share their valuable insights with all of us. I learned a lot. Thanks, Uday, for taking out the time, especially. I know you've been busy with your annual planning exercise and stuff. Um,
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
yeah, and thanks, Rutuja and Shriya.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.